Top 5 games of 2017. Okay.
That is correct.
In 3, 2.
Really, nigga?
Mr. Owl shit, boy. Get acquainted.
1.
Mr. Owl.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Flock representing the gaming Illuminaughty, and we are back with another GI5. This time we are doing the top 5 games of 2017. Before we get started, introduce y'all to everybody that's a part of this marvelous video we're about to do here for y'all. We're going to start off with the ace of all trades. Say what up to the people.
What's good, everybody?
Okay, trying to put a sexy voice on for y'all niggas. All right, cool. JG, say what up to the people.
My name is JG, and I don't play games.
All right, TBH, say what up to the people.
Greetings, my fellow African Americans and my one Caucasian friend. We have a Caucasian in the video. Caucasian alert.
White is right.
Oh my god. All right, we got not one but 2 Patreon supporters in this video with us taking part of this because somebody in the GI squad elected not to let me know what was a good time for them. I'm not gonna say their name, but
Ethos.
God damn.
Yo, I pay that dude $50 a month. I can say a little bit.
Okay, I feel that.
Y'all heard it. He said it. He said, "Hey, I paid money to snitch." Him, officer. It was him. All right.
Let's get this.
Young Horatio, say what up.
What's going on?
And the snitch himself, OG Grizzly, say what up.
God
I am the Caucasian. I'm here. Let's do this.
You know they're gonna tell you apart in this conversation, right? I'm just be warned, fella. Just know that you have
I'm
been
already
warned.
ready for those comments, man. Let's get it.
Just know that you've been warned, bro. All right.
Oh, man.
We are going to start. If you're not familiar with this, we start from 5 to number 1. Everyone will say what their number 5 is, going down to 4, 3, 2, 1. In the process, they will give a quick synopsis on why they like that particular game. And we just keep going till we get down to number 1, and then we done. So let's get this disclaimer out here real quick, y'all. If y'all do not like what someone else picked, just know that this is their personal opinion. Our reflections is not a reflection of you. Your reflection is not a reflection of us. I know some of y'all get butthurt, and I have to say this every time, but someone's gonna be that guy that says, "Your list is trash. That shit sucked," and you still playing. You still on PS3, so we don't want to hear that shit.
Oh,
all
man.
right. So
Wow.
With that being said, also before we get going, if you're not in the know, GI does have merchandise up. I'm quite sure that will be in the description somewhere. TBH probably gonna take care of that. So y'all make sure y'all do that. If you come in any of our streams, you do the ! Merch. We got the GI hoodies. So all that good old stuff. And if you want to be a part of videos like this, we got different tiers for you to be a part of that. That link is in the description to join the Patreon. So with that all being said, we're going to start with Young Horatio. What is your number 5, sir? Game of 2017.
Let's go. I'm gonna go with Batman, the Telltale series. I don't know if y'all familiar with Telltale series. Obviously, you know it's pretty much a decision type making games. You can edit the game through all your choices that you make. The Batman Telltale series that came out, it was pretty dope. Man, it was cool. It was a lot of action in it. Some stuff that I didn't even know about Batman in it. Wasn't bad. It wasn't awkward. Kind of like how 2K, you can choose a good voice or a good topic, whatever. And the second one, it's hard to character. This one is pretty smooth. You can be an asshole, good guy. Doesn't always pay off in the end, but I like it. So it's gonna be number 5 for me.
I would like to say though, the reason you don't know the stuff about Batman or whatever that is because the game's not canon.
Ah, cool. Okay.
Yeah, they let Telltale do whatever they want, which that's actually what makes it dope though. So yeah, that was a good pick.
All right. TBH, what's number 5?
Man, this game started out at number 8 on my list, but I kept looking at the list. I kept having to reshuffle spots, and eventually it ended up at number 5 when I really thought about it. we're starting off with, excuse the voice crack. I sound like fucking sitcom.
Oh, Nick.
Real deal, bro.
This man
I
came up
thought Real
early.
Deal was in here for a minute. Oh.
You 17 again, TBH?
Maybe. Fucking, we're starting off with some controversy. I'm going with Mass Effect Andromeda. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
Hold on.
I
Wait. I have to say something too, because that actually is my number 5 choice too.
Nigga,
Why would you?
You know,
Ace, we about to kick you out already, bro. It's gonna be a first
Nah,
in
it's all
history
good.
somebody getting kicked out. We don't want to know that, Ace. Wait till we get to you, bro.
Bro,
you always gotta make it about you. Jesus.
All right, please go on, man. Unbelievable.
All right.
L's in the comment section, y'all.
All right.
That's
So
early, yo.
I really thought about it, and like I don't care what anybody says. Like I know I'm known to be a Mass Effect fanboy, but I stand by my statement. Mass Effect Andromeda is a bad Mass Effect game, but it is not a bad game. All the drama that surrounded this game, it was a bunch of people that never had any intention to ever play the game. It was just cool to pick on this game. Yes, it had facial animation problems, but if you look past that, this game had the best gameplay in the Mass Effect series, period. The story was painfully average. It had facial animations, but at the end of the day, I play games for games, and Mass Effect Andromeda, from a gameplay standpoint, is pure fun. And I got 60 hours out of that game. Sue me.
Damn.
Okay. All right. OG Grizzly, what's your number 5, man?
So a little bit of a disclaimer for me as well. As I was saying before we started recording, I only picked the games that I've actually played, because I could have, easily picked a bunch of games that, like, damn, I would really like to pick that up someday or, real soon. But, I don't want to speak on anything that I haven't actually had firsthand experience on. I'm glad I didn't now. But I was actually gonna do Mass Effect Andromeda for top 5, for number 5 as well. But it got beat out by it's a little bit controversial as well, Shadow of War. We all know what happened after Act 3. Yeah, that bullshit. But honestly, like, up until then, the game was fantastic. Like, it is, like, just Shadow of Mordor itself was a great baseline. Like, it was a fantastic game, but just Shadow of War just completely just built itself above it. And I don't even expect the Nemesis system to get that much better, because it's already pretty good. So what honestly else could you do? But just it, like, not only was it the same thing as last time, where, like, if you killed an orc or an orc captain, he would come back. But, like, the fact of building up your army, the basically, someone can betray you, like Blood Brothers or something like that, and you just wouldn't expect it. That Nemesis system actually basically kind of molded how I continued to play the game. And then after, obviously after Act 3, I kind of just stopped, because I think I was into into stage 4, stage 5, whatever, and I was like, this is dumb. Like, I already spent about 40 hours on the game, and from the previous, or I don't know if it was like 2 podcasts ago, just for the GI podcast itself, TBH was talking about he didn't spoil the ending, but he said that it was there, but it was just disappointing. You're like, really? So honestly, I was just gonna look it up on YouTube later, but that's just gonna be my top 5 for now, because as I said, I haven't played that many games yet, just because of just busyness with work and stuff like that, and I got school coming up. But it was still a great game. It was just, if they just ended it at Act 3, and just had like one final boss battle, that would have been much higher up on my list. But I'm gonna stick with it, because I'm gonna catch a lot of flack, but it's all right. So yeah, that's my number 5.
All right, JG.
So I kind of suffered from the same thing. I can only go off a game that I played, and already made a video about this and talked about this before. It was a pretty bad year for me for video games, and I didn't want to put this on my list either. But my number 5 also was Shadow of War, and OG Grizzly pretty much touched on everything. Just Act 4 was a bore. It turned into endless defense missions. it was really the same thing that happened in Gears of War 4 as well. And I stopped playing that story because of the same thing. I'm not trying to play defense missions over and over, but this was like Gears of War times 10 with the defense missions, and I just stopped. But again, everything before that was great. It was amazing. I wish that I could have put it higher because I was fully prepared to when I saw that it was coming out, but it just ended up not being that way. But for what I played, man, I guess I will have to just put it there and just deal with it.
Okay. Ace of all trades. Just reiterate what you've already told us earlier.
Well, I mean,
Mass Effect Andromeda.
I mean, you guys want to always call us, drama, whatnot, always call us for entertainment. But, what I remember previous GI5s when somebody had said something that was in their same number, someone had said something before, and some of y'all didn't have that same energy. Just wanted to put that out there. But anyway,
shut up, man.
Nah, fam. Nah. Y'all always try to
I ain't
pull
editing
stuff
none of
like
this
that.
shit out either.
No, I'm
Crying,
glad. Good. I'm glad. Ain't nobody crying. I'm keeping it real. Number 5, I said Mass Effect Andromeda. I had to say a little bit of piggyback off of what TBH said. Yeah, the facial animations could have been much better, but he did make a point in saying this team clearly didn't really have aspirations to be able to play this game itself. I came in here with a open mind because I actually was late to the party when it came to the Mass Effect series. So I actually went through and I played the first 3 games. And yes, I understand that there was not really a connection between the first 3 games and Mass Effect Andromeda, but just kind of knowing that history behind with the Citadel and everything like that was kind of cool information to learn and whatnot. And like TBH said, by far, Mass Effect Andromeda had to have one of the best gameplays of this year, and it was so much fun to play. I put over 80 plus hours within the game itself. I made sure to take my time. I did a lot of things in the game. It was really, really fun. Story wise, it was okay, but I mean, like I said, the gameplay, the abilities that you're being able to use, it was really, really fun to play, and definitely by far when it comes to the Mass Effect games list, definitely the best gameplay for sure. So yeah, that was my number 5.
Alrighty, boy. My number, I'm like to touch on what JG said. To me, this year was pretty bad as far as like playing games because it wasn't a lot of games that I was really that interested in playing. So I'm gonna base my 5 off the amount of time I spent playing these games because just off the enjoyment that I had with them. Like I said, I didn't play a great deal of them this year. It just wasn't a lot of stuff that caught my interest this year for some reason. And I'll start out. My number 5 is Horizon Zero Dawn. I know that game caught a lot of flack. I know a lot of people. Some people loved it. Mainly Sony ponies loved it just for the fact that it was just an exclusive. But I thought the game was cool at first for like the first 4 or 5 hours I played it. But after a while, it started to like kind of taper off for me. It was just kind of like rinse, wash, repeat for the most part. And as you went along, of course, you had to like upgrade and stuff like that. But I still think that from a character development portion of it, it was okay. I'm not gonna say it was great, but I'm not gonna say it was bad either. A lot of people just trashed it for the sake of it just not meeting expectations. But I thought the game was really good. It was just it just became a lot of the same old shit for the most part. So for that reason alone, it's number 5 for me. Horizon Zero Dawn on the PS4. Single player game. Yeah, I do play single player games. All right, we'll go to our number 4. We will start with you, Ace. What is your number 4? Give you a chance not to tell what your number 4 is before somebody else gets it.
Yeah, whatever. My number 4 for this year, I'm actually gonna say it was Mario Odyssey. Mario Odyssey, late into the game, obviously. It was one of the games for the Nintendo Switch that came out. It was, everybody was excited to see what the game I had to offer. Had the opportunity to see it at E3. It looked great. Once I was able to actually play it, I thought it was really dope. Obviously, it's a huge nostalgic feeling for the game. I mean, it's Mario. That man definitely needs a break. But that game itself is definitely a console seller when it comes to the Nintendo Switch. And overall, I mean, the game is really, really fun to play. I mean, honestly, like I would say the gameplay gets even harder after you completed the game itself, because if you really wanted to, you could just easily breeze past the game itself, but that's not the whole purpose of it itself. You're supposed to go around, you're supposed to go and actually collect the moons, you're supposed to go around and explore the different areas or whatnot. You're supposed to use the new ability where you're able to take the which is Cappy, is one of the characters, and actually transform yourself into the different enemies around you in your area. And if you do that, you definitely get your bang for your buck. It's a great game, looks great, plays great. And if you guys actually play after you beat the game itself, you get a lot of the secret levels, which is typical in a Mario game. But yeah, that's my number 4 choice.
Alrighty. I'm not gonna skip over me. We're just gonna keep it in a straight line. My number 4 is, believe it or not, it's NBA Live 18. And like I said, I'm picking this list off of just sheer enjoyment. And did it meet my expectations? I think it did. I didn't expect a great deal out of NBA Live this year because I was so disappointed in 16. But this year they're actually doing different stuff to try to keep the game improving. Unlike 2K, who just they just want to charge you money and get money about you and not really improve the game. So for the sheer fact of enjoyment standpoint and not expecting a great deal of it, I still say that NBA Live is a year or two away from really competing with NBA 2K, because if they add a competitive mode to this game, I would definitely lean towards NBA Live more so. And they just got to fix a few things gameplay mechanic wise, and other than that, I really didn't have that big a problem with the game. So we'll move over to JG. What's your number 4, sir?
True. My number 4 goes to Horizon. I'm feeling for the PS4. This game kind of pushes for its graphics. Even though my PS4 was whizzing like it was about to take off, it still has some pretty good graphics. It definitely pushed it. It gave a new meaning to pushing it to the edge for the full power. And even though it didn't really do anything special, I remember I made a quick little video about this one, and I said that it kind of reminded me of like an extended Red Dead when it comes to hunting animals. That was the type of vibe that I got from it. And it just like made that the center focus of the game. Seeing like one of your first robots, big ass robots, was an experience. And now it did end up getting repetitive, like you mentioned before, but it was dope when you were doing it. It just towards the end, it just, like you said, just kind of tapered off. But for what it's worth, though, I did actually have pretty good experience with the game when I played it. So
okay, all right, OG.
My number 4 goes off to PUBG. Now, this was just based off of the early access, but I've also played a little bit of the 1.0 launch, and it's definitely much better than it was before. But I had fun with the game. Like, I started playing it because everybody in the Discord was always on it. We still have that the one channel for the chicken dinners, and there's people still posting on it, people still playing the game. But it was fun, and I put it above Shadow of War because just because of Act 4. I'm still salty about it. That was like the bane of existence for it. But I just put it above it because it's not even just the most of my enjoyment for the game, because I had a lot of fun playing the game. Like, it was something refreshing. It was something that I just hadn't played before. Because I haven't played H1Z1, I hadn't played DayZ, any of those games. But I also put it at the number 4 spot as well. For another factor for it is just kind of like how it propelled the whole genre of just a battle royale. Because H1Z1 and in DayZ, they're very popular at the time, but like nothing propelled that genre of just gameplay like PUBG. And in its early access, it sold over 20 million copies. That has to count for something. But yeah, it's Bluehole was they should have, from all that like extra revenue they gotten, they should have propelled it to go faster in terms of development, so that 1.0 can launch a little bit faster, because I feel like a lot of the hype has died off. Well, not a lot of it, but some of the hype has died off for it, just for the fact, if they just put vaulting in the game just as soon as it blew up, then I feel like people would generally like stick with it much more and have just a better experience in general. I still go back to it from time to time. I haven't gone back to it in a while, but time to time, when I have the time, I'm on Mafia 3 right now, just trying to catch up on that. But yeah, number 4 spot, PUBG.
All right, well put. TBH, what you got, bro?
Same as JG. Before I got Horizon Zero Dawn. This, I feel like this game would probably be way lower on my list if I would have finished more games. But it's kind of like y'all said, due to time constraints, just didn't have time to beat every freaking game that came out this year. And on top of that, on top of that, for people who don't know, like once you start working some of these like industry events and shit and networking and stuff and producing content on the internet, it feels like you talk about and write about games more than you actually get to fucking play them.
Wow.
Like people think I be joking when I say that my game time is when I'm streaming. Other than that, you got to be planning videos and updating the site and doing social media, all this other extra shit. There's just it's more to it than y'all think. So like Horizon's a good game, but I feel like it only landed at my 4th spot because I didn't get to finish Zelda. I didn't get to finish Assassin's Creed Origin, which are great games, which are on my, my honorable mentions. But I'm the type of person where if I didn't beat it, I'm not gonna co-sign it completely because something might be at the end of that game that might piss me off, and then you end up looking like Ape Green, looking stupid co-signing.
Oh my god!
What's in
my
it?
god!
Well, Horizon was this year's what's the word? It was this year's Uncharted. Super polished, beautiful game. Did everything right, borrowed a lot from every game, but just didn't do anything exciting or new.
To separate
just
itself.
super polished. Yeah, to separate itself. It's that game you just show to your friends on your PS4, like, look what my PS4 can do. But it didn't blow me away. But it doesn't take away from the fact that it was a good game. It wasn't great. So yeah. And shout out to the Alloy. I love a good female protagonist. We respect women around here. So yeah.
Oh, no, true. Right, well,
Hashtag respect women.
put down, stop playing that 2K and be the real game.
Yeah, that game stressed me out this year.
Oh boy, that was some funny stuff. All right, Younger Ratio, what you know for, bro?
Guess it was a bad time to mention 2K on this list. So we'll go with the Divinity or Original Sin 2. I don't know if too many people have played the first Divinity, but get to the point. Number 2 is it's like a crazy RPG game, MMO. It's kind of open world. You pretty much can do whatever you want after a certain point in the game. It's got a huge story, man. I'm not even done with it. That's why I'm bored, but it's got a huge story, huge customization for your character. You don't have to play it alone. You can play it up to 4 other people. Man, you can build relationships in that game. Just kill off characters in the game that you probably would. If they allow you to do it, you can do it. It's pretty cool, and I like everything about it. Customization, magic, spells, all that stuff. All the little things in that game that actually, like I said, if I would have finished it, probably would have been my number 1. Still spend a lot of time on it. It's also really punishing. So I really like it, but I really hate it because you don't know how many times I had to start over because my character constantly got killed in the beginning part, just trying to make it out of a town. Like, ridiculously punishing game. It forces you to take time and to actually strategize attack. It's a turn-based game, and you don't really.
Alright.
So, yeah, that's my pick.
Alright, we're gonna come right back to you, man. What's your number 3?
Dang. So yeah, number 3, I probably put in a fighting game for the year, and that's gonna be Injustice 2. Injustice 2, I spent a lot of time on. Quickly, of course, a big story mode. Of course, I didn't really like the multi because of the spamming with the long range or whatever. People didn't have any skills, but you pick up some tricks and tips and find your ways around it, and you still punish people. It's just enjoyable, man. I like being able to getting into it, showing out a little bit. Seeing people rage quit is pretty funny too. But other than that, Yeah, that's my number 3.
All right, moving on. TBH, what's your number 3, sir?
God damn it, Horatio. Number 3 was Injustice 2 as well. So we're gonna keep it short. Graphics were really great. I'm a sucker for anything superheroes. The story was actually really great. That's one of the reasons that I love the Injustice series. I enjoyed the new multiverse mode where you get to collect all the different pieces and improve your different characters and stuff like
real
that.
fun.
And then also, like, I feel like we need to praise the fact that Injustice 2 launched and it had no problem. The online works really smooth for the most part. I'd say about 95% of the time, which is very rare this day and age when it comes to fighting games. Nowadays, you gotta get a day 1 patch and do this, that, and the third. It just fucking works.
I remember
It
that
was
shit
fun.
for Mortal Kombat, bro.
That shit was terrible.
Optimization goes a long way, man.
Facts.
Yeah, so you gotta praise them for that. I think it's like one of the few games this year where we actually continuously played it at least for like a couple months, which is a long time for us. With our damn gamer ADHD, we hosted lobbies and stuff like that. So, Injustice 2 was a really solid game. I enjoyed it. Great game.
True.
All right, OG.
So, my number 3 goes to Zelda Breath of the Wild. I got on a Switch probably a good maybe like 5 or 6 months ago, and it was the big hype was the Zelda game itself. I'm kind of getting tired of the trend of like huge open world games, but Zelda did kind of make it worth it just with even though it was a massive scale for a Zelda game itself, not in terms of, you know, gameplay and anything like that, but I mean gameplay as well. Just the free exploring, you know, you can go to the different missions, you can do whatever the hell you want, and it was refreshing. Even though, like, because I had just finished, well, not finished, but I was kind of taking a break from Andromeda, so I got onto the Switch, played another open world game. But Zelda itself was like, it was so massive, but it wasn't to the point of oh my god, my cat just, all right, never mind. But it just wasn't overwhelming. It was an enjoyable experience. I still need to finish the game, but it was in my top 5 because it's a game I played and I had a lot of fun with it. But yeah, just Zelda Breath of the Wild, just something fresh versus what I've usually been playing. But yeah.
All right, JG.
All right, my number 3. This one goes to Mass Effect Andromeda. For me, never playing a Mass Effect game besides 2, which I really don't count. Could only play it for like 2 hours. So I'm still fairly new to the Mass Effect series. I really enjoyed it. I feel like a lot of people that played throughout the series until then, I fully understand why they didn't like it. But like TBA said, I did feel like this had some of the best gameplay that I saw, and that was also the reason why I kind of didn't like the previous ones. I just didn't see anything back then that would make me just really go and pick it up day 1. But when I saw Andromeda, I saw the gameplay, I was actually intrigued, and that's why I tried it out. And I had a good experience with it. Again, the story wasn't really all that, but I definitely had a really good experience playing the game, minus a couple of optimization issues, which they ended up fixing later on. And like the facial animation, that didn't bother me at all. And by the time I ended up playing it, they fixed it anyway. So, and it wasn't a big deal for me, man. I don't know why everybody was crying about this damn game. So I enjoyed it. That's all that matters.
2017 was the year of the witch hunt.
Pretty much.
Yeah. All right. My number 3, I gotta go with Tekken 7. I know y'all was going fighting game route with Injustice, but I'm just more of a Tekken player. I like testing myself against, you know, better fighters. That's why I like playing against Nomad all the time, just to see where I am. That game, man, it's Tekken. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and go through that whole, you know, FGC stuff. Like when people like they say, "Oh, that's a real fighter." Oh, this. I'm not doing all that. All I'm gonna say is Tekken 7 was a very good game. Tekken always a very good game. I mean, the character selection. I mean, it's always a lot of characters to pick. They don't nickel and dime you to death with microtransactions and making you pay for this and making you wait for this get and stuff like that. Y'all know where I'm going with this, so I'm not gonna touch it. But I'm not doing that. You know, they didn't go the Street Fighter route. You know, it's just get out there, fight, let's get it. You know what I mean? That's why I always liked Tekken. That was always my preference. I mean, I love Street Fighter. Well, I used to, but Tekken as of right now is my favorite fighter. So we're gonna move over. Ace, what you got, bro?
My number 3 is actually a game that I didn't get a chance to play into 2017 itself. Now, it was released in European areas in 2017, but it first came to Japan in August 4th, 2016, I believe, and then it came in North America like in late November. It was Dragon Ball Fusions. If you guys aren't familiar with that game, it's a Nintendo 3DS game itself, and literally the game is of what you see in the title itself. You literally can go around and you can fuse each and one of your favorite characters together, and it's actually really dope. There's so many different combinations that you can really do. There's so many type of story. The story itself is really, really cool itself, and it's really a cool handheld game. So if you guys never tried it out and you guys are interested to look at it, a Google search Dragon Ball Fusions is actually one of the games I believe TBH talked about last year and saying that they needed to bring over to North America, and eventually they actually did. So yeah, it's a fun game to play. Really enjoyed it. Story was pretty good. Fighting pretty dope. You take your customized character, you go around the different type of areas for Dragon Ball, and you basically interact with different characters within the story, and you gain the ability to be able to fuse and go on from there. It's pretty dope. So Dragon Ball Fusions is my number 3.
All right, well, coming right back to you with number 2. So
Yep.
go ahead with number 2.
All right. So this number 2 was actually really hard because I went back and forth between the number 1 and number 2 of this year, and I got it. And after finally getting my list together and not saying I'm not going to change it anymore, my number 2 is, and it's already been mentioned, it's actually Zelda Breath of the Wild. Game was amazing. Not gonna really go deep into it already. It's already been spoken about, but game is really fun. I beat the game, put in I think like 85 plus hours in the game itself. Definitely another game for the Switch that I would say that is a console seller itself.
It's really that much to do in that game?
Oh yeah, it's a lot.
Oh yeah,
the
it's
reason I
massive.
haven't beaten it. It's overwhelming, man.
It's overwhelming, but it's really
So that
dope.
game, you take more time on that game than the Mario game?
Oh
Yeah.
Oh hell.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, so the first of all, the shrines are so dope because they're a range of different puzzles and different ways you can be able to solve the puzzle itself using the abilities from the beginning of the game, which is quite easy, towards the end of the game itself when you're trying to complete the 120 shrines or so, and you had all these different combinations to be able to go through the shrines. Plus, within the shrines itself, you have a whole bunch of customizable items, and man, it was really, really dope itself. I'm not even gonna front with you guys. Like, I purposely tried to go through and collect all of the different types of costumes that you can have with Link. Now, if somebody from, a different standpoint will just see like, oh, why are you trying to play dress up with Link? Well, the thing is, with Link, these different type of items and clothing actually have the ability to change things yourself. So if you're in a hot climate itself, you want something that's going to cool yourself down as well as being able to run fast. You can be able to utilize those customizable clothes, and you can be able to basically cater to whatever your situation is, and that's much appreciated. It's dope. It's really, really dope.
No, I'm confused about who's gonna make fun of you saying you want to play dress up with me.
No. I wasn't saying that anybody was gonna make fun
And
of
on
me.
top of that, what you just described is nothing new. That's been in Zelda since the beginning. The different outfits with abilities.
Well, they added more, not just abilities itself, but they also added they really force you to use it. In other Zelda previous games, you can get through certain levels and just wear whatever you wanted to wear within the game. Here in Breath of the Wild, even with it being such a massive game itself, they force you to have a particular outfit to be able to survive these climates. If not, then you have to you basically have to go through and utilize the cooking ability, which comes up with potions and whatnot and elixirs. Like I said, there's a lot to do in the game itself. If you guys haven't played it already, I would say definitely go for it. That's a great game, and I had to put it down my number 2.
Ace plays dressed up with Link.
There's actually a lot of people that I saw on social media about it that actually was talking about it, which I thought was kind of funny. That's how I brought it.
I never heard that before. That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's like Battlefront 2 has everyone shook. Oh, it's not canon if it's cosmetic. No, it's not canon.
Right.
Yeah. So, I get it.
All right.
Kind of.
So I'll go. My number 2, believe it or not, is PUBG. This was one of those games where I did not even expect to ever even try to play it. And by watching everybody else play it, I was just like, I'm not gonna get it, because as soon as I start playing it, everybody's gonna stop playing it, like every other game.
That's what I was worried about.
And I'm just like, okay, this is what's gonna happen. And I kept being told, come on, man, get it, man. We playing this, man. I got like 100 hours on this game. That's why I'm like, all right, cool. I didn't think I was gonna like it, the whole battle royale type, aspect and stuff, just, stuff. Because I always watch people play, tried to watch people play H1Z1, and I found that game extremely boring. Like, I used to always call it H1Z1, you know what I mean? Because I just thought that shit was boring as hell. But then when I started playing it, and that game is the game that really made me get thorough on mouse and keyboard. So, I gotta shout out my homies for that one, because it forced me to, to stop ducking at mouse and keyboard. So, and I got kind of eyed at it. So I just need to play it more. But I had a lot of fun playing it, man. We had a lot of I just did a lot, man. Played that game a lot, and just did a lot of gaming with that game and had a lot of fun. We had some funny moments on that too. And hell, I even got some chicken dinners too. So without getting carried, carrying my own weight too. So it was fun, man. So I got to put that in there, because out of all the games I didn't play a great deal of new games, this year. But out of the ones that I did play, I think this is definitely right up there at the top. So for number 2, I got PUBG in there, because I know it might be somebody in somebody else's list, so I won't harp too much on it. JG.
All right, my number 2 is going to go to Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. This wasn't a game that I even thought about playing, and I was ready to go into 2018, still not playing this game until I got convinced by Fallout Nuke and Ethos during the last GI podcast. They talked about it, and they said that this game was a total mindfuck, and I played it. I played the entire thing and beat it on stream, and I would have to say that I was impressed. I was definitely impressed. For those of you who don't know, Hellblade is a game with this girl. She had mental issues, and she is trying to get her husband back, who ended up getting sacrificed by one of the gods that they were praying to. And all throughout the game, and you gotta pretty much play the game with headphones. You're sitting here hearing other voices in her head, like they're talking to you throughout the entire thing, like talking mad shit. And it's crazy, because like it'll really kind of have you going crazy, because you just want these the voices to stop. And that's a good representation of like how it is for people in real life. And I just think that they did a really good job. The story was very, very immersive. The combat, it was there. It wasn't anything to gawk about, but it did its job for when you got to those parts. And I really wasn't even upset with the puzzles. I'm not really a puzzle person, but I can figure them out, and they didn't really frustrate me like I initially thought they were. So all in all, I just thought that was a really good game, and I feel like a lot of people were sleeping on it, like myself. So if you might want to try that out, if you are not into any of these games, and that may be in your list too for your top 5.
Did you get mind fucked?
Nah, not towards the end. Not towards the end. But
okay.
It was. I didn't really like the ending, to be honest. But minus that, I think everything else was good. I didn't really get my fuck towards the end though. I kind of got used to it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, Grizzly.
So my number 2 is actually going to be Call of Duty World War II. There was a lot of hype towards the game, but I was still skeptical, because it's a lot of hype for every Call of Duty every year, except for Infinite Warfare. That one just bombed straight from the beginning. But my favorite Call of Duty was and always will be Black Ops 1. And just playing World War II, just starting from the beta, it felt like I was back during that time. Just with the 0 to no aim assist, and just I'm a sniper, like quick scoping, and I don't trick shot, but that's just when I had my Xbox 360, that was my whole thing. I was one of those kids with a clan, and friends who played together and all that sort of stuff. Just a big loser, but but anyway, it really surprised me, man. Like I didn't expect it because especially from like Sledgehammer Games, because they're still kind of new to the whole Call of Duty franchise itself. But they really surprised the hell out of me with the new headquarters, with the bringing back war, and just not even just bringing it back, but making it so much better than it used to be from World at War. The gameplay was not awful. There was still like the same thing with like every other Call of Duty game, with like shitty spawns and just kind of just bullshit in general. But since they switched to dedicated servers, it has been a whole lot better. But yeah, so my number 2 is World War II. I'm still playing it, still having a lot of fun. It's if anyone is like on the fence about it, I'd be like, oh man, I really don't want to, dive back into the Call of Duty thing after, just all the disappointment. I would give it a try, maybe like wait for a free weekend or something, because you might be surprised. It's Call of Duty, but definitely more polished, and it does feel more different than ones in previous. And if you like Black Ops 1, you are definitely gonna like World War II. So that is my number 2 pick.
Alrighty, TBH.
Number 2 pick, PUBG, aka PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. At the moment of the recording of this video, I have 475 hours on the game.
Jesus Christ.
Damn.
God damn.
So I'll let that speak for itself. Now, I originally was going to leave this off my list because I wasn't really sure when the game was going to come out, but it actually came out just the other day, so I can officially count it as a part of 2017. And to be honest, because I've been playing it since early alpha until now, the official release date. The only thing that's really changed is they added more guns, they optimized it better, and they changed the interface, but the core gameplay is still there. So I think it's fair to judge it off of this year's games.
Vaulting.
And yeah, the vaulting, yeah, but that's whatever. But yeah, like I said, I got over 400 hours in the game, so I mean, I think that speaks for itself. I enjoyed the game. This game is the reason I'm not done with Zelda. It's the reason I'm not done with Assassin's Creed. It's the reason I'm not done with a lot of games. Because when you get to a certain age, games like Zelda are cool, but when you have real life responsibilities, you just don't have time to play 200-hour games all the fucking time. And sometimes you just want to hop in and play 2K for 10 minutes, or you want to play PUBG for 20 minutes, and then go to fucking bed. So yeah,
that's a lot
just
of
kind
minutes.
of PUBG is a game that spoke to my current state of life right now. Like, all I can say is, if you're young, right, enjoy your youth, bro. Because the older you get, the less you get to play fucking games, bro. But yeah, PUBG is lit, and they added a new map.
All right, young Horatio.
I'm going with this game only because it's like number 2 is going to be my trolling game. This is my favorite trolling year. It's going to be Honor. Everybody knows Ubisoft's best game is probably Rainbow Six so far. But for Honor, if you ignore the microtransactions, because that's the death of every game, there's nothing more satisfying than throwing people off, thinking because they sweet, and they start beating you down. You got an inch of health. There's this ledge over here though, and you toss somebody off, and you laugh and you taunt. It's pretty satisfying in my opinion. I really enjoy trolling and throwing people off. Because sometimes my one-on-one game is kind of dark, so you want to throw somebody off. Give you that advantage, you do it. Sometimes I am trash one-on-one, like I said, and I gotta jump somebody. I go and jump them, and then I'm gonna taunt because whatever. I can do that.
That's why
people
we
do
have
that too.
mics.
Yeah,
Right.
You can do the same thing. It ain't no fun if you play for sure that you have jumped something before. Because you probably fought somebody who had the super armor, whatever, or you're just not that good at games. You used to. I like the idea of the game. Be able to use your environment to your advantage. be able to actually have team play, or if you go on a one-on-one route, you can do the one-on-one route. It is toxic though. Not gonna lie, it's not necessarily it shouldn't really be anybody top 2, but me, it's only because I control just throwing them off and taunting them after they die. And I love the executions. It looks actually simple. That's my 2.
Alrighty. So what we gonna do here? Go to number 1. If you want to add an honorable mention, feel free to go ahead before you get to number 1. We'll go right back to you there, young Horatio.
Honorable mentions would be 2K18 because I'm still playing it. Let's see. Nier what's it called? Automata?
Automata.
Near
Automata. But here, okay, so everyone else knows how to pronounce it. But yeah, that's a good game. Ooh, man. All the Walking Dead games that came out, that was good. Persona 5 was an interesting game. All those mentions. For me, number 1, it's awkward. It's gonna be a WWE 2K. Only because of the game. I feel like this is how you do a 2K game, as far as you'll give you that opportunity to create your own character, go through a little bit of set story or whatever, then they let loose on you. You get to do what you want. You still have to build up your stats and all that, but there is no micro transactions whatsoever to continue. You literally need to be able. You need to play the game. You actually need to win everything and earn everything, which is why I don't understand why 2K don't take this idea for a basketball game, which is beyond me. But other than that, this has actually been my favorite game. I'm still playing it. I picked this one because it's the one game that I like to play by myself or with other people. That's my top 5.
It's interesting.
At the end of the day, that's what it's all about, bruh. Your personal preference.
Right.
All right. TBH, what you got, bruh?
Let's see, honorable mentions, like I said, Breath of the Wild, AC Origins, just because I haven't finished them. Mario, Rabbids, Kingdom Battle, Skylar and Pluck's Adventure on Clover Island, I really enjoyed. Absolver. I feel like people forgot about NBA Playgrounds. That was pretty decent. And then Neo. But yeah, my number 1, Super Mario Odyssey. I haven't really been into Mario for a long time, but decided to get the Switch, and guess I did it again, man.
Why is everybody saying it like that?
Nah, he's the only one who's trying to be an asshole.
No, y'all don't know. It was an interview. The guy said it like that. Yeah, it's from a video.
But yeah, Nintendo does it again. Instead of relying, I mean, there's nostalgia in the game. It's definitely nostalgia driven, but it's not 100% nostalgia driven. They actually tried something new in terms of gameplay mechanics. The environments. Nintendo's the best at level design when it comes to platformers. I really enjoyed all the different environments. It's how I like my single player games. I like them 8 to like 20 hours. I don't like 200-hour games. Okay, I want to be able to beat my game and just So I appreciate that it was a solid length. It took me like 15 hours to beat. I didn't get all the moons, but I got like the majority of them. And then also, I just enjoyed Super Mario because it's just a game that spoke to me at this point in my life. It's a game you can just sit back and enjoy, have fun, jump around. It's not too serious. You play it at your own pace. It's one of those games where it's like Breath of the Wild is just big as shit because it's big as shit. Super Mario Odyssey, Flock, it's big, but it's only as big as you want it.
Okay.
You can run through the game in like 5 hours.
See, I played that Super Mario for about an hour and a half. I actually played it on the Switch.
You can run through it.
It was kind of fun. It's just like the way you move on it sometimes is clunky to me though.
If you do the minimum and get the only 10 moons that you need per level to go to the next level, then you'll run through it really quickly. But it's about exploring, finding the different environments, Easter eggs. There were some really cool moments that I didn't expect in the game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was just pure fun, leisurely fun, and I'm sometimes just not in the mood to be playing super intense, try-hard shit. Super Mario Odyssey did it for me. So there you go.
Alrighty. OG.
All right. So my number 1 is actually one of TBH's honorable mentions. Super Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Nice.
That was actually why I bought the Switch in the first place. So that was Ace has been talking this entire recording about, like, you know, console sellers for the Switch and stuff like that. But Mario Rabbids really did it for me. It was when I first saw the actual gameplay. I don't know what it is about it. It was just like, it just looked like a fun game. And then once I started playing it, it was an extremely fun game for me. Like, that did it in for me. It made me proud to actually, you know, have a Switch and not actually like, and I don't feel like I've wasted my money at all. It was just refreshing, like kind of like what I was talking about, like Zelda Breath of the Wild. Like, it's the game's big as shit and it's massively open world, but it was refreshing in terms of just the gameplay itself. I also I hadn't played like any Nintendo games in a long ass time, and I feel like just Nintendo at its point now, it's kind of just it's like the last console that is truly a console. Like, everything else is pretty much at this point just like a shittier PC port, or like a shittier PC. You can get the same games on PC now and have way better quality in terms of gameplay and graphics. But anyway, Mario Rabbids, like, just the gameplay itself was phenomenal. I had a lot of fun. The only thing that kind of disappointed me was I tried to play with my little brother, and there is co-op, but it's only for certain missions. So, like, you can't actually go through the entire storyline with co-op, which that's the only gripe I had about it. But it was other than that, like, it was very fun. You know, it was just, you played the game, you played it in the off time, you played it if you wanted it, you played it when you wanted it. Kind of just going back to what TBH said again, is just, you know, getting older and having more stuff to do, more responsibilities. You just don't have that time anymore to just kind of just sit down, you know, a day after day and just play. So you want to play something that you would actually enjoy, and Mario Rabbids was that number one for me. But yeah, and my honorable mentions, I was gonna put this as my number one, and as I was talking about, like, before with the that's why I asked the question of, like, does it have to be extreme, like, from 2017, the game itself? Because I didn't start playing Mafia 3 until very recently, but I would say I would it's a little bit cheating, but I would put that in my honorable mentions because it is a more polished game now, just because from the beginning it did have a lot of glitches. Not game breaking, but a lot of people were pissed off about it, and that's why it has mixed reviews, were the glitches and bugs. But since that's all been cleaned up, it's a much smoother experience. And yeah, just I'm still playing it, still trying to finish it. Fantastic game. But yeah, Mario Rabbids is my number one.
True.
Alrighty. JG.
Wait, did you finish Mario Rabbids?
Did I finish Mario Rabbids?
Yeah.
No, I'm more than halfway done, but just from what I've played so far, that's why I felt like it was.
I was gonna ask, how long is it? Do you know, Ace?
It's about a 20-hour plus game.
Yeah, it's on my back.
It can be if you're going around, because it follows like a Mario format itself, where you got your different levels within the first world, and then if you want to be able to find the secret part, you can go outside of that and do it. Or if you want to just play the story, you'll probably get around 15 hours or so if you want to beat it just quickly. But it's important to increase the skill tree of each player that you receive in the game, because it's only going to help you moving forward. If not, it will make the game more difficult if you don't upgrade your character.
Gotcha. I was just curious. My bad.
Yep.
JG.
Jesus Christ, I don't know why you asked him. Is he going on a long tangent about it? I don't have any honorable mentions. My number one is going to go to Wolfenstein 2. It was between this and Hellblade. Wolfenstein 2 had one of the more slept-on stories, in my opinion. I mean, even though the simple form fact is you killing Nazis still, but 2017 was so crazy that I just wanted to let off some steam and kill zombies, kill Nazis. But it did have some twists in there. It had Black Power, whole bunch of Black Power moments. Sorry, TBH, that when you ended up getting it, it didn't work for you, and other people were having that same complaint. I don't know what's going on. It's Bethesda, so it can be hit or miss with these games, but the game worked fine for me. I did a whole Let's Play for it, and I always enjoyed my Wolfenstein Let's Plays. And they had some stuff added in there, like you had this little like super suit or whatever, and they had some little upgrade mechanics, but it was pretty cut and dry as far as like the actual gameplay mechanics. It was just shooting a lot of shit, but that's what I enjoyed. I enjoyed like the old school type of elements in a shooter, a first person shooter, like actually having to pick up health and actually having to pick up your weapons. It's a nice change from what we're used to now. I feel like we're kind of getting our hands held with a lot of these games nowadays, but again, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I would say if you can, actually play it, because it can be hit or miss on the PC. I don't know about the console version, but
Get it on console.
yeah, if you want 100% to work, get it on console. But if you want to take the risk, then cop it on PC. But again, this was my number one.
PC Master Race.
Right.
Oh boy. All right. I'll go into my number one. And the reason why this game is number one is because I played it probably more than I played any game this year. And I don't think anybody even know. This was during the time I was so pissed off at NBA 2K17 that I stopped playing it around I stopped playing 2K in like March, right? And I was just like, I was done with it, 2K17. So I picked up MLB The Show 17, and lo and behold, I actually loved the game. And I know a lot of people are not huge on baseball and stuff like that, but I picked it up. I've played baseball games over the years before, but I didn't think I was going to have as much fun playing it, but I did, and I put so many hours into the game that I can't help but make that my number one. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of BS that goes on into that game. They definitely have ways of micro-transactioning you to death if you allow it, but there's ways of not doing it to kind of like get the best players in the game to go online and play people. And the online, I mean, as it's gotten better, I know at one point it was pretty unbearable, but they did go through things to fix it. But I don't really want to get too much into it. I know a lot of people is not into baseball, but MLB The Show 17 is definitely the game I played the most of this past year, because I think I played it from March until like late September straight. Like I wasn't playing 2K and I wasn't playing a lot of other games, and other than Horizon, those are the two games I had in rotation, with the exception of that, like PUBG. I would play that on occasion too, but for the most part, those are the games I was playing. Like all the games I listed, but definitely MLB The Show 17 was the game I played the most in 2017. Ace.
All right, true. A lot of you guys already said honorable mentions, but I won't go into mine since you guys already mentioned it. My number one choice for Game of the Year this year actually is Cuphead. Cuphead was a very, very fun game. It was very stressful at times. Everybody was waiting for this game to come out because, but it kept getting delayed. But the artist actually drew every single motion of this game itself. So the art style of this game is phenomenal. The music is phenomenal. It's perfect for the scenery, situations. It's pretty. Everyone keeps comparing it, like jokingly comparing it to Dark Souls, saying like it's just boss after boss after boss. I believe that it got to a certain point in where people were asking for levels instead of just bosses, so they introduced levels in the game itself. But it was very fun. It was a very fun game to stream itself, and I overall had a great time at it. Had some rage moments, but it was a fun game. It was my top game of 2017. Cuphead.
Nice. I thought that was gonna be one of your honorable mentions. I thought you would probably pick something else, but
Oh, you thought I was gonna mention Sonic?
I thought it was one of the Sonic games was gonna be in it. I'm not gonna lie.
I thought your number one was gonna be taking L's.
Wow.
Isn't that just like a year-long thing, like a year after year?
Yeah,
For
well.
the millennia.
Ongoing series.
All right, y'all chill, man. All right, that's about it. We about to wrap things up. We'll start with Ace. You wanna say your parting shots to everybody before we close this out?
Nah, I'm good.
Y'all need to chill.
You could
Alright.
feel this.
Young Horatio, what you got, bruh?
Appreciate you guys. I've been making my rounds on GI video. I think the thing I haven't done was triple threat. But appreciate y'all. Hopefully keep doing it in 2018.
All right. OG Grizzly, what you got, bruh?
Yo, I feel like after the last video I did, which was the community podcast, and this video now, I feel like Ethos just hates me. Like I've been talking once Ethos listens to this, if he does, I'm sorry. Like, it's all jokes. Like, that $40 is for the vision. All right, Leap is coming. So.
Oh God.
No, I got a lot of respect for Ethos, because he was the one that I first started watching before I knew about GI. Well, him and TBH. Then I just started watching everybody else's videos as well. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for having me here. I know I'm not in the Discord a lot. As I said, got a lot of stuff going on, just school coming up and switching jobs and a whole bunch of bullshit. But I appreciate you.
That's refreshing to hear.
Right.
What do you mean?
Trust me. Just trust us, bro.
Just trust us on that one.
That's
a good
all right.
That's a good thing, bro.
That's a good thing. All right, cool. All right, cool. But yeah, as I said, I appreciate you guys, for having me here, and I hope I can participate in a couple more videos soon. But yeah, and I hope no one gets mad at me for. Well, I mean, they probably will. Whatever Flock said in the beginning, people are still gonna get mad for our opinions, but it's all good. Keep it going.
Yeah, and keep it gaming, y'all. All right, TBH, what you got for the people?
Yeah, I just wanted to say Sonic sucks. Free to play is better.
Damn.
Oh my god. Oh man, y'all crazy. That it?
Yep.
This guy. All right, JG, what you got, man?
It was a stress to make this list, but hopefully 2018 is better, man. We're gonna start off with the bang with Dragon Ball Fighter, so let's get it.
That is true. That is starting off.
And Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Monster
Hunter.
yeah.
Can't forget that. Yeah.
Y'all know that Dragon Ball ain't coming out till like September, right?
What you
That
talking
shit
about?
coming out. It's definitely coming out.
It ain't
No,
coming
all
out.
them
No,
trailers
they
they put out.
confirmed the date, bro. January 26th. What do you mean?
Yeah, all right.
You don't believe in Bandai, man?
He's got his doubts.
I guess it's coming out, dog.
That's what they said. That's what they said about Crackdown too, right?
That's not the same thing.
All right,
though,
don't matter.
bro. I see what you're saying. I see
It's
what
a
you're
lot,
saying.
lot of games
all right.
that they be having these dates for, man. Don't be always
Where is
negative.
Scalebound?
Exactly. I predicted
Overboard
that one, but
Microsoft, man.
and I almost feel
Overboard
bad. I
Microsoft.
feel like I jinxed them because I did predict that shit. I said that shit ain't never coming out, and it did.
Oh,
But
so you saying that you hating on Dragon Ball?
no,
Is that what you saying?
we was at E3 playing it. I told you I liked it. I told you it's gonna be another fighting game that I don't play that I'm gonna get.
Okay.
So, I mean, you gotta think. I got Street Fighter, I got Tekken, I got Injustice. I don't play them shits, but I got them.
I got Tekken. I don't play this shit.
So, all right. In closing, yeah, I just want to thank OG Grizzly, Young Horatio for joining us on this one. We got more to come for y'all, man. I know people have been asking whether we're gonna do our what we supposed to do, our top 5 consoles, and we supposed to do our top 5 games all time, stuff like that. I know people have been asking about it. It's coming, y'all. It's coming. It's just kind of hard to get everybody in one spot at the same time. So just be glad. We just double shotted 2 videos today, and that was, we got it done. That's all I'm gonna say. We got it done. So y'all already know, man. Links to all that good stuff y'all need to know in the description, as I explained earlier. Thanks to the Patreon supporters that came through. Y'all already know what it is. We out of here, y'all. GI 2018. We do, y'all. Boost.